right, Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here with Ellie Greenwood. She's the champion and new course record holder, the 2014 Squamish 50k. Hey, congrats!
Thank you very much, Megan.
How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a fun day.
It's kind of weird. It's like super sunny, it's clear, you're basking here in your shorts and your sports bra, like hot day in British Columbia.
Yeah, I don't know whether people think like, oh, Canada, it's going to be cold, but this is pretty normal, right, for a Squamish in the summer.
Right.
Yeah, and even Vancouver, right, like we definitely get the warm weather, and the temperature might not seem super warm, like even if it's just like high 20s or 80 or something like that, right? It might not, like on numbers, seem super warm, but yeah, you get good sunlight here, so yeah, it was definitely warm out there. It was
warm
humid.
and humid. Everybody looked dripping wet.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, like it does tend to be humid here, and definitely it seems to have been more humid this summer, whether it has or not, I don't know. So at least they're used to that, right? But yeah, no, definitely like you're having to drink a lot, even like early on, even when there was like cloud cover earlier on, so yeah.
Last time we saw you, you were rounding out the podium at Speed Goat down here in Utah. Now we're here, that was sort of you seeing us on our home terrain. Now we're seeing you on your home terrain. Talk about your day out there. Like, these trails are pretty familiar to you.
Yeah, like I don't run in Squamish tons, and actually like the trails here in Squamish are, I would say, less technical than North Vancouver.
No kidding.
Yeah, like I would say generally. I mean, there may be a bit more developed here. In terms of like, there's lots of mountain bikers that come here, and they're more than happy to share the trails with trail runners. So a lot of mountain biking trails and that kind of stuff up here. So sometimes there's little like features that you have to jump off or that kind of stuff. But no, I'm totally comfortable with this kind of terrain. Compared to something like Speed Goat that just has like long uphills and long downhills. There was about 1,000 meters, about 3,000 feet less of elevation here, and the climbs, you would have a shorter climb and then shorter, so more up down, and yeah, more variation. So yeah.
Talk about your recovery from Speed Goat. Like, you went to that race, it was sort of your first time playing with a high altitude mountain race. Did you bounce back as quickly or as nicely as you hoped you would?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know whether it's partly because like maybe the altitude slowed me down a little, and therefore I didn't beat myself up as much because I wasn't running as fast as maybe my fitness would let me, because I was slowed down by the altitude, maybe a little. Definitely I took quite a down week this week coming into Squamish. I think just because, I mean, I'm really looking, this was more like having fun, but I did feel that I'd been doing quite a lot of training after Speed Goat, and maybe I just needed a bit of down week, so it coincided well with, hey, Squamish is coming up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you basically took it out from the gun today, led the women's field, and put yourself solidly in the top 5 men pretty much straight away. This was a so-called training race for you, but to me you looked like you were, when I saw you, it looked like you were like putting some effort in.
Oh, no, definitely. Yeah, like I put effort in, and Katrin Jones, who came second and who'd won last year, like she's a very solid runner. So I knew it wasn't like, I can't just go out a walk in the park, exactly. And I wanted to get something out of it. And also there's a little bit of, like I don't have to get like a crazy good time, but you want to come away going like, yeah, that was a time that I feel I put an effort in, rather than going away and going, oh, I should have pushed a little harder. So no, definitely I went hard. Like I struggled again, like on the big climb to start off with, which was sort of between about 8k and 14k. And at that point, like Mike Wardian came past, and a local guy, Dave Pressman, and another guy, and then that kind of like got me going of like, okay, I should try and somewhat keep up with them. And they know that I kind of like downhill, and fair enough, Mike had already run 50 miles yesterday, so yeah, so that was good actually, and yeah.
Awesome. The end of the race, it wasn't really a race for the women's win anymore, it was a race for second place overall. You, early in the race, you had quite a distance behind eventual second place male finisher.
Yes.
And we got reports that, he was 9 minutes in front of you, and then 2 minutes in front of you. And then somewhere in the last couple K, you must have actually caught him or caught sight of him. Talk about racing him to the finish, because in the end, like my photos show that it was just 3 seconds in between each
Yeah, so I don't actually really know Eric. Like I've never met him before, but I knew I was in third position overall. And then when I got to the top of really the last climb, which I think is probably about 4.5k to go, like a volunteer who I knew up there, she said like Eric's 2 minutes ahead. Oh, okay.
You have to work for
this
it now.
is going to have to, it's like, well, this, it's doable, right? And I don't know how he's feeling, so if he's not feeling great, then it is definitely doable. Yeah. So, and I knew there was about 2k on tarmac flat at the end, so I hoped that would be in my favour. So yeah, I was, came down the last descent on the trails and the technical stuff, and I was definitely, pushing that as much as I could. And yeah, pretty much as soon as we came onto the tarmac, I could see Eric ahead, and it took quite a while. And then I was sat on his shoulder, and he knew I was there, and so we're pushing each other for sure. And yeah, I didn't have enough, right, in my legs.
So he outkicked you, basically.
He outkicked me, and there's definitely a little bit of like, he's a guy, he's not a woman, right? Like if it was a woman, maybe I'd have found that tiny little bit extra. Whereas it's like, it would be cool to come second overall, but does it really matter? Not too much. And and I'm sure maybe I could afford to anyway. So yeah.
But you have an incredible fire in your bones, because you came like just storming across the line, brow furrowed, you leaned over, and you said, "I'm pissed."
Yeah, I was a little, like, I think because typically I do have a strong finish, so to then find someone else that reacts to that strong finish was, a little frustrating. And I mean, I do speed workouts like with a running club, right, like every week. So I was like, just pretend it's one of these workouts and then like try drop him. And I was kicking myself that like I don't really know Squamish precisely. So I was like, have I got 500 meters to go, or is it 200? So I can't really go because so whatever. Yeah, I've got over it. So,
but you do that competitive fire is always stoked.
No, of course. I mean, like a situation like that, like it's not like I had to be competitive for like an hour or something, which you have to be really motivated to do that. If you got a bit competitive kick for like 10 minutes, I think most people do in that situation. So yeah.
Well, last question for you, looking toward the rut, which is a month away in the next race. You walked away from Speed Goat saying your weakness in mountain racing was the extended uphills. Mm-hmm. What are you doing between now and then to ready yourself for the run?
It's a bit of balance. I now know I'm going to run World 100k on November 21st.
In November?
Yeah. So if I start training for that after the rut, that's too late. Okay. It's too late to switch. So I'm going to have to start before the rut doing some flatter road running. So, which I think maybe is possibly in favour. I think possibly like with Speed to Go and before I knew World 100k, I was thinking the rut, I just have to go up as many hills as possible, and that's maybe not the case, because you just get tired going up hills and then you might become slower. So I will go in again, do the best I can at the rut, and yeah, I'm definitely, I'm still training for it and I'll still put the great effort in on the day, but I am going to have to not 100% focus on that. I've got to think like when you're representing, like country, I'm going to be running for GB World 100k, you've got to kind of, that's
focus your attention on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a very honourable position to be in. Yeah. So focus your attention on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again on your win, course record, and third place overall. Seconds from second.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Squamish 50k. We'll see you in a month at the run.
Will do. Yeah. Thank you.